Well, I'm very proud of how our tribe has responded to COVID-19. I think we have worked hard to prioritize taking care of our people. And I mean, when I think back to the beginning of this challenge, we knew that we would need to be in charge of our own testing, for example, to help keep the community as well as we possibly could. So our staff quickly prioritized getting rapid testing capacity. And, that enabled us to get members and employees tested quickly and quarantine quickly if needed so that we could help prevent spread. And, we know that insufficient testing capacity has been a huge problem for tribal members when they live away from our community, and for many communities. We know that we had folks traveling from Warm Springs to our IHS clinic because they could get tested quicker driving to Grand Ronde than they could get tested where they lived. So we're very pleased that we were able to provide that so readily to so many people.
When things really started to get bad in March, the middle of March, and we decided that we was going to have to shut down, so it was we kind of jumped on it, I think, with our knowledgeable staff and the fast reaction that they had, and our GM shut everything down, keeping essential services and stuff in place, our clinic being open and all the essential things that we had to have, but reduced the staff, had people who could work from home, be able to work from home. So having done that, I think, and kind of leaving the area here so that we wasn't all tight together helped out a lot, because we didn't have a positive case in Grand Ronde, actually, for quite a while.
I think we handled it as good as you could hope for. It was a new experience for everybody, and really nobody knew what to expect. Nobody knew in the initial stages just how contagious. So there's just a lot of unknowns. And within those unknowns, it was, what do we do at the casino as our main driving engine of all our economic endeavors and drives all our government. And so we decided to close the casino initially and to pay for all the employees, including their tips. And we got CARES Act funding. I would say we're probably 90% certain that would be covered, and felt really good about it just from what we had heard.
We took it seriously from the start. We implemented mask requirements, social distancing requirements. We went to predominantly like a virtual format for a lot of our meetings, including our general council meetings and our Wednesday night meetings. And I feel like we recognized the severity of what this issue could become from the get-go, and we took it very seriously.
One of the biggest things and kind of comical things about all of it was when we decided to close the casino, we realized we don't have locks on the doors, because it's always been a casino that was open 24/7. There was never any needs for a lock, so we actually had to install locks. So that was kind of interesting little tidbit that came up. But yeah, I think we handled it as well as we could, and the proof will be, I think, how we are prepared for the future and how we handle the next pandemic, because there will be one.
I think how we handled it in our community, giving our employees PTO, the economic assistance we gave our tribal members, and the fact that it gave us a chance to start some new programs like the tech grant, all of those things I think benefited the people who received them. And I think as far as governments go and organizations go, I just think we did a really good job.
I could not be more proud of our clinic team. I mean, they have stepped up. They've always been committed to getting a vaccine, not letting a single vaccine go to waste. Mm-hmm. And my understanding is that to date, they've got more than 5,500 vaccines out, with over 2,500 of those going to elders. So they are just absolutely community heroes in my view. And so I think we've just really worked hard to keep our focus on the people and to be there for them.
Definitely, it's made everybody aware of how well we all work together. and come together to work as a team, and taking care of the community, in which we did, especially when it came time for the vaccination. We took care of the community. Again, it's great that we're in a position that we're able to do that.
We really just let our tribal values guide us, and I think that's really pulled people together in that sense.
I think we have been reminded that big sickness can come to our tribe today, just as it did so often for our ancestors. You know, we do enjoy so many medical advances in our time, and yet we still were completely unready for this.
I think it's really pulled us together more as a community, and not just here in Grand Ronde. We were required to do a lot more electronic type call-in meetings, and using some of the CARES Act funding. That's something we've always wanted to explore anyhow, is how do we reach the people outside of Grand Ronde better. And we've been able to do that, and our participation rates are, you know, much, much better. And I know I've heard from a lot of people outside the area that they've messaged me or emailed me and just said how much they appreciate being able to participate, being able to ask questions and not just watch a video from afar. And I see that probably continuing in the future. That's something we're going to keep, and I hope even make better, because it is really nice to reach more and more people. So I think in that way, it's made us stronger in how we communicate to our members.
The tribe was made stronger because I think this was one of those situations where we had no choice but to come together as a community, even though we've got like a very disparate population. You didn't see a lot of COVID denialism in our community, which is really important, because I think if you look around the country, like the governments, states, what have you, that struggled were ones where leadership and constituencies were divided on how seriously to take it. But I feel like the Grand Ronde community took it very seriously, and we recognize that now more than any is a time for unity.
And I think it's an obligation of our tribal members to remember that, you know, the lives of our ancestors were not easy, and that disease was a terrible plague for them. Losing family members to sickness was a common part of life for them, and that's not as common for us today. But, you know, with their strength and their wisdom, they persevered. And I think this has been an opportunity for us to learn from that example and say, okay, we are not immune to all the challenges that this world will throw at us. And so how are we going to respond when that happens? Well, we're going to focus on our community. We're going to focus on our people. And there's strength in that.